I've got a massive treat for you today. And when I say massive, I do actually mean massive. It's a very large double volume by the Bibliotheca Philosophica Hermetica. And that's the old name of the Ritman Library, today known as the Embassy of the Free Mind. It's a double volume called Christ, Plato, Hermes Trismegistus, The Dawn of Printing. And the reason it's called The Dawn of Printing is because it's actually their catalogue from 1990 of all of the incunabula that they had. Incunabula is not a word that I knew prior to acquiring this book, but it's basically all the books that were printed at the very dawn of printing. So in the second half of the 15th century, between 1455 and 1500. Now, apparently 20,000 books or more were printed during that time, but among those, a few were printed on Hermetic Christianity, esoteric Christianity, Hermeticism, and philosophical approaches to Christianity. And those books were sought by the owners of the Ritman Library and acquired, and they were the first books to be introduced to the library. Let me show you the books inside. Okay, so first of all, as you can see, the slip case is really quite beautiful. It's got this nice cloth-bound cover. Inside, it's a nice pristine white card, and it's very sturdy, very, very solid. You can see that it's very nicely, very well made. I rather like the color. It's a kind of a mustard color. It fits on my shelf just next to the fairies book. I don't know if you, if I can get some. The fairies book just in between the two there, and it's exactly the same height, so you can see it's a big, very tall book. I don't really have any other books. Possibly the black books would be the same height, right? So it's a very, very nice, large format. And yeah, here's the book. Here are the two books, the two volumes themselves. So here is the lovely logo of the Bibliotheca Philosophica, or rather of the imprint of the Ritman Library, which is called Pelicaan. So very nice there, and yeah, the design is just really lovely, really, really lovely. Yeah. So that nice red paint on the front, the edge you've seen already, and on the back, just this really nice, simple design, which is stamped in paint. Very, very nice. You may remember I reviewed this other volume of theirs. It's one of the books I was most excited about last year. I know not very many people clicked on the thumbnail to actually check the video out, but I do recommend checking out my review of From Poimandris to Jakob Berman. Very, very wonderful book. So this will be my second book from the Ritman Library, and I am just as satisfied. Look at this. Just absolutely lovely. So the end papers there are an example of the kind of quality you can find inside. It starts off with three. Oh, I've got the second volume here, of course. So here's the first volume. It starts off with three introductions. One introduction by Just Ritman himself. Explaining the background, right, of these acquisitions, and then there is another introduction by Franz Janssen, or Professor Dr. Franz Janssen. That was kind of interesting for me to see the number of books that were acquired in every year. for the Ritman Library, and you can see that there in 1987 there was quite a boost, and then in '88 as well, and so on and so forth. And so this is the way it stood in 1990. Of course, things have changed significantly since then, or rather, the number of books that they own has significantly increased. So the first two of these pages just are examples, are particularly nice examples, and then everything after that is an alphabetically ordered a catalogue of their incunabula. So what you get is, on one page, you get a facsimile of one of the nicest pages that they were able to find. Sometimes that's actually the cover, the actual cover of the physical book. Some of them are absolutely beautiful. And then you get the catalogue entry over here, and a description, an explanation of what this actually is, which is invariably fascinating to read. You can then go and look them up, because as you may know, Dan Brown gave quite a considerable amount of money to the Ritman Library to digitize many of their books. So a lot of these books are available directly on their website. If you visit the Embassy of the Free Mind's own website, you'll see that a lot of these books are available to peruse. So some of them are in full color. Right. So here's an example of where the front cover was the thing that they felt was the most attractive thing to show. As you can see, the printing, the colors, they're really nice, very true to life. The page is kind of a cream color, but it really complements the material, to be honest. It's a fantastic quality of paper. It's a lovely satin paper, so very little reflection on it, right? And yet not matte. It's very, very smooth. It feels really lovely. I can't believe how inexpensive this production is. I've seen it for much more on Amazon, but if you get it directly through the Ritman Library, it's I think it's €50, something ridiculously low like this. So whenever you see these pages in grey, then those seem to be black and white reproductions. Wherever there are details on color, then it's explained over here. I'd say it's about half and half. Half of the pages in color and half of the pages in black and white or in grayscale. It's just a real. It feels like a privilege to be able to see these in probably as close to the real thing as I'm ever going to get my hands on. Just a really, really lovely collection. So some of them are very obviously, alchemical works and hermetic works and so on and so forth. Some really lovely illustrations, woodcuts and diagrams and so on and so forth. Some of the ingenious ways some of these pages have been designed and printed to make the most of the new book press, which had just been invented, right? And yet still with that old manuscript tradition, so wanting to stay in touch with that. There we go. So there we are. That's pretty much a tour of this wonderful production. I know that some people were worried that it was out of print. It's not. It's well, at the time of recording anyway, it's available. And I know that the Ritman Library are probably, well, certainly at the time of recording, I'm recording in November of 2020, when the world is shutting down again because of the coronavirus. I know that they're very keen for people to visit their online web shop, and I think that this is probably a good opportunity to do so. I hope you agree. I'm sure you you might very well. Yeah, I don't think I have anything on my shelves of this quality at this price point. It's, the closest I can really think of would be, my really nice, super expensive books down there. This really is something quite special at this price point. Very, very cool. There we are. Just to give you an idea of scale, I brought out the Everyman Mabinogion here as well, just to give you an idea of how much larger that actually is. There we go. You get an idea. Okay, I hope the review was useful. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Check out the description for more details, and I'll see you very soon with another video. See you soon. Bye-bye.